Okay, hello everybody. So today I'm going to continue discussing box and whisker plots, and I'm going to show you how to actually make a box and whisker plot when you are given data. So let's get started. So you can see that this example says create a box and whisker plot from the following data, and then it gives you a whole bunch of numbers here: 65, 63, 68, 71, 73, 59. But what I want you to notice is those numbers are not ordered. So in order to find or to make a box and whisker plot, the first thing that you need to do is actually order your numbers from least to greatest. So let's go ahead and do that. So we will scan through and look for the smallest number. It looks to be 58. So then I will list that, cross it off. Then we have a 59. And then we have 61, it looks like. Then we have 63, 65. Followed by that, we have 66. And then 68. And followed by there, we have a number 70. And then we actually have two 71s, so we do need to list those twice. And then 72. And finally, 73. Okay, so now we have our data ordered from least to greatest. And the next thing we need to do is identify all of these numbers that you see listed so we can draw our box and whisker plot. So let's start with the easiest. The easiest is the minimum and maximum values. So you can see right here, the minimum value that we have is 58. So we'll draw that right there. The maximum value we have is right here, and that's 73. Now, we need to find a couple other things. We need to find the median. So we'll start by finding the median by looking for the middle number. And the easiest way to do that is to just cross numbers off from each side. So if I can start here, and I don't know, let's cross 5 off. We have a lot of data points. So I'm going to cross 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to go to the other side and cross 5 off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you can see there are two numbers in the middle. So because we ended up with two numbers in the middle and not one single number, in order to find the median, if there was just one number in the middle, that would be our median. But in this case, there's two. So in order to find the median when there's two numbers, you actually add them up and then you divide by 2. So what you will get when you do that is you will end up with 66 plus 68, which will give you 134 divided by 2, and that turns out to be 67. So our median value now is 67. Now remember, if there had just been one number in the middle, that would have been your median. But because we had two numbers in the middle, 66 and 67, we had to add the 2 and divide by 2 to find the median. So now that we know what the median is, we know that the middle part of our data happens between 66 and 67. So let me go back for a second. 2 is 67. And now I want to go ahead and draw a line. I'm going to draw a marker right smack in the middle of our data. So the middle happens right there. Now, to find the lower quartile is going to be the middle of the lower half of our data. So the middle of this data right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cross off my data again. This time I'll use blue, and let's cross 3 off. Let's not do 3. Let's only do 2. Let's do 2 like that. And what you see is there are two numbers left in the middle again, 61 and 63. Now we need to find the median of those two. And again, if there's just one number left, then that number is your median. If there's more than one number left, in this case there's 2, then you're going to have to add those two numbers up, and then divide by 2. So to find the lower quartile, we would do 61 plus 63 and divide by 2. That is going to give us 124 divided by 2, which is 62. So our lower quartile is 62. Now to find the upper quartile, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and cross off a couple of these, a couple of these, and what you see is there are 2 numbers left in the middle again. If there was only one, that would be your upper quartile, but in this case there's 2. So you would have to add those 2 up again, 71 plus 71 divided by 2. That gives me 142 divided by 2, which is 71. So now I have my upper quartile. Now the last couple things, the interquartile range, we aren't going to calculate right now. And the median, we already did calculate that. We got 67 for the median, so we'll write that there. All right, so we have all the values that we need. So the values that we need are those 5. We need the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, the minimum, and the maximum. And once you find those, you can go ahead and plot your points. So we'll put a dot. We'll start, lowest is 58, next one 73. So let's go with 55 here. And then 56, 57, 59, 61, 63, 65, 67, 69, 71, 73, and 75. Okay, so I got my points labeled, or I got my hash marks labeled, I should say. Now we'll go ahead and put our points on the graph. So we need to put a dot at 58, which would be right there. We need to put a dot at 62, and then another dot at 71, and finally the last dot at the maximum, 73. We did skip over 67, and we should have put a dot there too in the middle, because that's our median. Okay, so we have all of our dots written. The last step here is to draw in our box and whisker. So the box will occur from the first 2 points on the right and left. Or sorry, the whiskers will. Those are your whiskers. The box will encompass the 3 points in the middle, like this. And so what you get is you get a box in the center with the center 3 points, and then the 2 outer points create the whiskers. And there's our box and whisker graph. The last thing that we should figure out is our interquartile range. And the interquartile range comes from subtracting the edges of the box. In this case, the top edge is 71, and the lower edge is 62. And so when I subtract those two, 71 minus 62, I end up with 9. And that's it. That's how you create a box and whisker plot. This one was a little bit more difficult because the medians had to be solved for. As I said before, if you end up with one number in the middle, that's great. Then that's just your median. If there's 2 numbers left in the middle, you do have to add them up and divide by 2 in order to find them. So I hope that made sense. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Have a great day.